everybody, it's Nana again. Oh, as usual, let me get situated here. And I don't know why, but my usually my video will be off from my talking, the sound will be behind the speaking or whatever, but I don't think that's doing it today, so I have no idea why it does that. But anyway, it's me, and I have my sweet baby. This is baby Kyle. He was named after my sweet grandson who passed away last year. And I think he is just gorgeous, of course. So, I wanted to do a couple of tags. See if I can reach my paper here. Two of them were made or done by Holly. And I talked to Holly yesterday, and she was like, oh, Nana, you should go ahead and do the one. The reason I didn't do the teacher one is because, well, be honest with you, I don't remember any of my teachers' names. But as I was talking to Holly yesterday, I really and truly just remembered only one of my teacher's names. So I thought that I would talk about him a little bit. His name was Mr. Whitlock. Sorry about that. And he was my junior high teacher for English. And whenever we... I'm sorry about that. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But whenever we would do dances, for gym, like they always wanted to do the square dancing back then in school for gym. And the girls had their gym teacher and the boys had theirs. But the two teachers would get together and have us do square dances and stuff for gym. A lot different than it is today, I'm sure. But Mr. Whitlock was this giant of a man, or he looked like a giant to us back then. He was like 6'6", 6'7", a very burly looking man, very handsome. But for some odd reason, and I still to this day don't know why, but every time we would get together to square dance or do some kind of dancing, he would always pull me out of the crowd to do the demonstration with. And I don't know why, but I'm telling you what, I used to be so embarrassed. If I knew in advance that we were going to do that, I would try and hide in the bathroom, while he picked somebody. But anyway, he was a very, very sweet man, and he is seriously the only teacher that I remember his name or actually remember having. So anyway, I'm sure Mr. Whitlock is probably passed on by now, as old as I am, but you never know. If you're still there, Mr. Whitlock, I love ya. Okay, the other one that she said was something that nobody knows about you. Well, I don't know if I've ever told you before or not, but I was one of those kind of kids that, you do whatever your mom and your dad tell you to do. You don't want to get in trouble. My dad was a military man, and, you weren't to show affection or to show that you were hurt or anything like that. And so I was kind of afraid of him, but not afraid of him, like where, oh my gosh, I'm going to go hide from him. But I guess it was respect, to be honest with you. I didn't want him to get upset with me for any reason. But so I never did anything that the other kids did. But one time, I let my ex-husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, talk me into skipping school. Excuse me. I never skipped school before. I was petrified of them finding out and then calling my father and my mom, and I just was scared to death to do it. Well, Jim talked me into doing it, and we skipped school one day, and we didn't go anywhere except my brother's house, and my brother and my sister-in-law were home that day. And I thought my brother would be at work, but he was home that day. And because I knew if he knew, he would not go along with this. This is my older brother, and he was 8 years older than me, and he just, did not go along with stuff like that. Well, anyway, a long story short, my mom called my brothers and said, "Do you know where Betty June is? The school just called and said she didn't show up for school today." And instead of my brother having my back and saying anything, he said, "Oh yeah, she's right here. You want to talk to her?" I could have killed him. I could have killed him. I was so upset, so embarrassed, so everything. I just couldn't believe the one time that I ever did anything like that, I got caught. Well, needless to say, I never did it again, because not only my mom was like, "You tell Jim to bring you home right this minute, young lady." And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to get it for sure. Well, all she did was yell at me, of course, but it was one of those things back then where you heard, "When your father gets home, though." Well, when my father got home, oh yeah, I heard a lot more than what she had to say anyway. But never did it again. And I think that might be a lot of what's wrong with today's youth. They don't have any the fear of God put into them, the respect that you should have for your parents. I think a lot of the younger generation is missing that. My kids did. I mean, they definitely were raised to have respect for their elders and such, but I'm a little more worried about how my grandchildren are going to be. But anyway, that's what happened with that. I have one that I thought of this morning in the shower, and I thought it would be a fun tag. It's only one thing, but I thought, what is one of your most embarrassing moments in your life? Of course, I have a lot of them, of course. But I have been thinking a lot about Papa here lately because, well, the 14th of next month will be his anniversary of his passing. And so I hope that didn't just show up on the screen. It's something that somebody is sending me. I think it's my sister. But anyway, because I've been thinking about Papa a lot, this just came to my mind this morning, and I had to laugh. I was laughing in the shower. But it happened years ago, and Papa and I, for about 25, maybe 30 years, we went to Hannibal, Missouri every year for our wedding anniversary. He loved it there. He loved the water. He just loved everything about it, and I couldn't talk him into going any place else, so that's where we ended up going every year. But on our 10th wedding anniversary, and the reason I remember it being our 10th wedding anniversary was because I had surprised him with a little heart. It's a tiny heart tattoo, and it says his name inside the heart, and it has an arrow. And that was my anniversary present to Papa that year. Well, like I said, it was only our 10th wedding anniversary, and we were still huggy, kissy, lovey, I can't wait to be by your side alone without any children kind of thing. But so anyway, we get to the room, and it's, we did our thing, whatever we had to do to get ready to go out that night, because they always had some kind of thing going on, like plays and things like that back then that you could go to, and they were like dinner theaters, and we loved doing that. So we were getting ready to go to do that and everything, and we're standing by the picture window, and we always had the same room. Every year when we left, we told them we want that room next year. And we got to where the manager was one of our best friends. But, you know, she went ahead and she put us in the same room every year. And if you looked out the picture window, if you drew the curtains open and you looked out the picture window, we were the second floor up, and you could see right out into the water. It was a beautiful thing to see, especially when it started getting kind of dusk, you know. Well, we were, like I said, we were getting ready to go to this dinner theater, so it was, you know, in the evening, early evening, and we're just standing there, you know, we're ready to leave and everything, but Papa said, come here and look at this. Isn't this a beautiful sight to see? And we were just standing there looking at the water, and, you know, just all of a sudden he grabs me and kisses me, and, you know, hey, only married 10 years, you know, we were kissing each other and just really enjoying ourselves. And all of a sudden we hear this noise. Did not know what it was, but heard this loud noise. And we were facing each other, of course, because he was kissing me, and we turned around to look out the window where the noise was coming from, and there had to have been 25 people standing on the other side of the hotel on the sidewalk, yelling and screaming and clapping and just having a ball. They were talking about us. They were laughing at us. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, honey, I'm so embarrassed. Close the curtain, close the curtain. But we were laughing so hard, and the tears, because we were laughing so hard, we couldn't even close the curtains. So we just started waving at them. Hi! You know? It was embarrassing as all get out, but it was funny at the same time. And so we get downstairs, and we're going to the dinner theater. And two of the people, it was a couple that was across the street watching us kiss, were down there, and they were getting ready to leave too. And the manager said to me, she said, I heard that you and Rich have been having a good time already. And I kind of looked at her like, how did you know? And about that time, this other couple walks out from behind, and there they are. And they were just laughing, and they said, oh, you guys are just so cute. we were like, okay, we didn't really think that it was cute, but, you know. So that, you know, is one of those memories that, you know, was a good memory. Because, you know, right now it's hard for me, and I'm trying to remember, I guess, all of the good things, you know, that we've done and good times that we had. I'm sorry. But, yeah, it was something to be seen from what I'm told. So, if you guys have a embarrassing moment in your life, that you will probably never forget, try and keep it clean. You can. I'm sorry, it was just so funny. And I'm standing in the shower this morning just laughing out loud at myself. But, yeah, if you have one of those, please put it on a video so that we can have fun with you too and laugh along with you, because those times are far and few between, but they're usually fun times. So, anyway, my sweet little Kyle and I here, we're going to let you go now that I made a fool out of myself and told you this. But I love you guys, and have a wonderful day. Have a fun time thinking of your embarrassing moments, but good times. So I will talk to y'all very soon. Love each and every one of you, and God bless you. Bye now. There he is. Here, miss. Oh. Bye.